Welcome to Final Cut Pro 10 Core Training. This is the first of 15 lessons covering Apple's Final Cut Pro 10 editing software. Whether you are new to digital video editing or perhaps transitioning from another editing program, which includes previous versions of Final Cut Pro and iMovie, my goal is to give you a solid foundation for understanding both the how and why behind the software, so you can focus on your ultimate goal, which is telling your stories. That said, I will occasionally make references to iMovie and legacy versions of Final Cut Pro throughout this tutorial. While previous experience with either of these applications is not a prerequisite for this training, I do this in order to bridge the past with the present by creating associations with current tools and features many of you are already familiar with. I therefore present Final Cut Pro 10 as not so much revolutionary, but rather evolutionary, because at the end of the day, your reasons for using Final Cut Pro have not changed. You're still using it to make movies. A reinvented wheel is still a wheel. So with that metaphor, let's get rolling. After downloading Final Cut Pro from the App Store and installing it, the Final Cut Pro icon will appear in the dock. If you're new to the Mac, the dock is this colorful strip of icons appearing in the lower part of your screen. These icons are shortcuts to the app itself, which lives in the application folder in your user directory. To launch Final Cut Pro 10, click once on the icon. Final Cut Pro will launch into a single window, taking up all or most of your display. To resize the window, drag in the lower right corner of the window. To make the window fit your display, choose Zoom from the Window menu. If you hide the dock, then choose Zoom again, the window will resize to fit the entire display. When opening Final Cut Pro for the first time, the window will be empty until you import footage and create projects. You'll be doing this in the next several lessons. In order to better showcase the interface, I'm going to show you what Final Cut Pro looks like with events and projects already created. The Final Cut Pro window is organized into three main areas: the event library, the viewer, and the project library. The event library is used for importing and organizing your footage into what Final Cut Pro 10 calls events. Events are like master folders for storing all the media for a given project. By selecting an event, its associated media appears to the right in a window called the Media Browser. The Media Browser is where you select clips in preparation for editing them into the timeline. The viewer is where you play back the clips in the event library or the timeline. The project library at the bottom of the window is where you create and manage your projects. Projects are the principal containers for your work in Final Cut Pro and are represented by these horizontal film strips. Double-clicking on a project film strip will open it into the timeline. The timeline is where you add clips, arrange and edit your clips, add titles and effects, and ultimately share your movies. In terms of workflow, the interface can be separated into three areas of focus: organizing, playback, and editing. The event library is used for organizing your footage, the viewer is used for playing back your footage, and the timeline is used for editing your footage. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Placing your mouse pointer at the boundary between any of these areas will reveal a resize pointer where you can change the spatial relationships between these areas, giving more screen real estate to either the event library, viewer, or timeline if needed. To return the window layout to the default, choose Revert to Original Layout from the Window menu. The gray bar that separates the timeline from the event library and viewer is called the toolbar. On the left side of the toolbar are buttons for importing media from a camera, rating and tagging your media, also called keywording, and three buttons for editing your media into the timeline. The button with the blue arrow is actually a menu of editing tools used for making changes to your clips in the timeline. The keyboard shortcut for each tool appears to the right of the tool's name. For legacy Final Cut Pro users, most of these tools use the same keyboard shortcuts you're familiar with. In the center of the window is an area called the dashboard. The dashboard is a widget-like interface that presents the current timecode of your clips in either the event library or timeline, depending on which window is currently active. At the left of the dashboard is the Background Process button, that when clicked on will bring up the Background Tasks window where you can view any background tasks in progress, such as transcoding and analysis, rendering and sharing, and so on. To view the audio meters for a project, click on the right side of the dashboard. To hide them, click it again. Moving further to the right on the toolbar, you'll see two large buttons. The first one is Final Cut Pro X's new Enhancements menu. This menu will allow you to quickly color balance and match your shots, as well as fix common audio problems like hum and background noise in your sound, just to name a few. The next button is used for applying speed changes to your clips, also called retiming effects. The cluster of 7 buttons with various media icons will bring up searchable libraries of effects, photos, music, sound effects, transitions, titles, generators, and themes, an incredible assortment of visual and aural content you can add to your projects. Finally, the button with the eye reveals a window called the Inspector that allows you to get information about your clips and make changes to the video and/or audio using various parameter controls. If you hover your mouse pointer over any button, a yellow tooltip will appear reminding you of the button's function, along with its associated keyboard shortcut to call it up. Finally, one of the most welcome additions to Final Cut Pro is automatic saving. Whenever the app is open, Final Cut Pro is keeping track of your changes. Unlike legacy versions of Final Cut Pro, there's no more need for constant manual saving. Even if the app quits unexpectedly, or you quit Final Cut Pro, the next time you open it, you'll be right where you left off. Final Cut Pro X also has an unlimited number of undos. As with most apps, Command-Z is the shortcut for going back a step. You can press Command-Z as many times as you like to return your project to your preferred state. In the next lesson, you'll learn how to use Final Cut Pro's command editor to quickly locate commands and keyboard shortcuts for improving your speed and efficiency.